Hello and welcome. I'm Peasant, and today I'm going to be taking on Scotland 7 with Downpour, who is probably my favourite of the newer batch of spirits. Few things to shout out first. Thank you, Kent Changar, for the. I hope I pronounced your name slightly correctly there. For the suggestion to switch my better camera for my weaker camera. Thanks for that. And also Neutrino for telling me a little bit about lighting. Very much appreciate that kind of feedback. Also, thank you. Oh god, I had notes and I've forgotten. For whoever pointed out the rules error in the last game, much appreciated. And in fact, going forward, the first person to point out each rules error with a timestamp will get a prize, which basically will be a Steam key. If you don't know what that means, I'm sorry, it's a computer game thing. Anyway, let's actually get into this game. So we are up against Kingdom of Scotland. It's been a while since I've actually played against Scotland. But I think people like to see people struggling. So I'm going to go against Scotland 4. And I've already done the setup. And I'm just going to go through what goes on, partly to remind me, but also so that everyone's aware. So we've got the trade hub loss condition. So if the number of coastal lands with cities is ever greater than 2, there's one board, then you've win. So basically, if there's a city in every coastal land, I lose. Okay, then they've got their escalation effect. So, of course, it's always going to be this board. And they always add a town to the land with the fewest towns. Okay, that's relatively straightforward. Let's try not to forget that. Trading port is explore cards add a town instead of an explorer in coastal lands. Okay. And here's that horrible thing where I'm thinking, have I ever played with that rule? I don't know. I think so. This is partly why I love the app so much. All right, so we've got an extra city and land too, and our coastal lands is in the deck, and I've already set this up, and my coastal lands is face up, so don't be alarmed. That's just because my working memory is, calling it a working memory is oxymoronic. All right, coastal lands, build cards affect lands without invaders as long as it's an adjacent city. So they've got a kind of Little England effect. But yeah, don't tell any Scottish people I said that. And then finally, so I'm going on Scotland 4. So that's a bit more deck arrangement, which has been done. But we're not doing runoff and bilgewater. We're not doing exports fueling inward growth. We're not doing that. So out of the way, Scotland. And then let's see it Downpour. Let's see if I can move this over here. Good old Downpour. I think I'm familiar with this spirit enough to not make too many rules errors, but the one I have made in the past it's kind of easy to miss in the excitement of Downpour is this little one down here. So the repeatability has to be on a power card that targets a land. That's the critical thing. That's actually that I've made this rules error before and then realized, so okay, that's enough preamble. I've also taken growth through sacrifice out of the minor power deck because it's broken. Anyway, so we've already done our opening explore here in the old jungle. I may as well get these cards out. Have a little look at my start cards. So yeah, that should be a lot better than it was. So thanks, Kent Changar. So we've got our opening explore in the jungles, and my experience with Downpour is that this growth option here, the double presence place, you want to do that as much as you can. Because everyone knows that placing that presence is what you want to do. But I don't want to lose either. This guy coming in with the fangs, with the beast here, my event cards might sort it out in time, but probably not. We haven't had the exploring with the blight, which is I feel like that's one I want to avoid. That can be a problematic one. So, but it has been a while, so let's hopefully won't be too slow. So first growth option is almost, and I typically play this with plays, but I've not really played Downpour at high difficulty before, so possibly I'm going to play pretty suboptimally. But I think what I'm going to try and do is probably rinse this a few times until the board starts looking horrible. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even got to the stage in my Downpour adventures of looking up how other people play them or anything like that. So I think I'm gonna start with with this growth option here. So we'll be gaining some water. Elements, of course, the elements give us repeats, or energy probably will be most critical for me. And we'll have to discard 2 power cards. The other thing to think about is that our Drench, the landscape ability here, means that my sacred sites count as wetlands. So that means I can potentially use these kinds of things in there. Oh, good old unbearable deluge. The other amazing thing that Downpour has going on is rain and mud suppressing conflict. Another sweet little power. I think Downpour is really strong, but I've never played them at high difficulty. Maybe I'll do that once I've reminded myself of what the hell I'm doing. Anyway, it's enough blather. I mean, we could just... The thing is, right, we are against Scotland. We're not preventing any builds in here because it's coastal. So we could do something about this. And of course, we've got to think about the alternate loss condition, or the Scotland, so if we do allow... We don't really want them to just build however they want in here. We do want to prevent that if possible. Yeah, so I think... It's tempting to think about potentially using isolate, which is potentially we could kind of make this coastal land not get explored by a town. I think. God, we're already getting into the rules, Maya. So the question is what to do turn 1. Can we afford to do this twice in a row? Effectively kind of having a turn we skip. Yeah, I think we can. So I think I'm going to go with a turn 1 foundation sink into mud, which means I'm going to want to go in here, and I don't actually need to make a sacred site in there in order to do so. So I might even want to think about going even further into the future. Tricky. Yeah, I'm still new to this one. So we'll go, I think I'm going to go in here and I'll do this. And I'm putting it sideways just so you can actually see it. So I know that some people don't like that, but sometimes you've got to do cursed things when you're making videos. It's just, I don't make the rules. So we've actually got 2 water elements from this, and we have an extra water element for here, and we're going to gain another water element from this. So this dice, hopefully I'll remember to use this to track my my superpowers. Oh, I've just realised I actually can be very super about this. I'd actually forgotten I had this power. Well done. Well done, peasant. Okay, so I'm going to be discarding 2 power cards. So we're going to be probably not doing anything next turn. I suppose there's a small chance I might want to do something next turn. So I think if I'm going to want to do any of them next turn, we could potentially do this to because it's got the air on it that might mean we can use rain and mud. We shouldn't need to do this next turn. Yeah, I'll keep dark skies. So these are in my discard pile, which I'll put to the side here. This is going to be still in my hand. I'll put it here. We're just going to be being foundational. So that was our growth option. 2 presents, gain 2 water elements, discard 2 power cards. Now we're actually into our spirit phase. So we'll get our income and choose our power. So that's the first. And then I've got 2 of these extra bonus downpour across the islands. So that's going to be another energy and a replay on this. So I'm going to be replaying this twice. Okay, that's the spirit phase. Now we're into the fast phase, schmast phase. Blighted Island. We do turn over an event, I think, technically, but we don't play it because we don't play it. I don't make the rules. Okay, and then we're skipping around to the Ravage. Of course, turn 1, no Ravage. And jungle builds. So we're going to have a build in those jungles. So we're going to get a town in both of these. So 1 in here, 1 in here, and an explore. I'm going to shuffle this along. And I'm going to put this here. So we've got a wetland explore. Lovely stuff. So into the wetland you go. into that wetland you go. And I've just had a rules thought. Spirits, actions, and special rules treat your sacred sites as wetlands. So this rule here, I was just wondering if it affected invader cards. They're quite clear about that. Okay, so that was the invader phase. So now into my slow phase. And we're just doing some sinking into the mud here with foundations. So, and we're repeating it because we're awesome, because that's what Downpour does. So we're going to do it in here. Two damage to a town, and in here, two damage to another town. And that's a couple of fear. Lovely stuff. And that is it for that turn. So this is now gonna clean up. This is gonna go into the discard pile. And we are now back to the spirit phase. Oh yeah, these of course are used up. We're back to the spirit phase now. And back to thinking about growth options. So what has changed? We've got wetland explores here and here. This is the fact this wetland is a real gift, because it means that I can potentially use something like Unbearable Deluge on a future turn to defend in both of those lands. So this is a good opportunity for a turn off. Why do we like turns off? Because it means we can do this again. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to so discard 2 power cards. I only have the one. Gain 2 water and place 2 presents. So I've actually got presence movement that I'd forgotten. So I'm actually going to keep on going down that bottom track. Though thinking about it, we don't want to take off another turn. I mean, it could be tempting to actually do this option here. Here's me and my weird min-maxing approach. If I do go with this option instead, I could actually use this turn. That's actually pretty good. We could prevent a whole build chain. And because we're reclaiming the following turn, probably. But if we do this turn, we could do this the turn after. Potentially, depending on what our explorer is. Yeah, preventing a build chain in here is pretty good. We can let the blight rack up in here. I actually think I'm gonna do that. So I'm not doing this. So instead I'm gonna do this option here. We're actually gonna gain a power card, which is a lot of fun. More fun than just being OP, I think. Also, this extra energy is going to mean we could do this twice, which is kind of horrifying, because we can even push Dahan into this area here for a counterattack, or for thinking about the future. So I think that probably is right. Actually, that's just better. The more I think about it, the better it is. So I'm going to go with this option here. I'm going to gain a minor power card, already pre-shuffled. That's not code for cheating, by the way. We're not into that. Okay, so what we offered? What do we got here? Oh wow, we've been offered some good stuff here. This is nice. This is a nice selection. We've got, yeah. Wow. So I really, really, really like having 0 cost things as Downpour, because when you repeat, it's great if you can repeat for free. Sap is just a wonderful card. It's even got water elements on it. Entrancing Apparitions is also really cool. It also has the air, which means we could be thinking about using Rain and Mud to suppress conflict, which is just a wonderful power. And it's also got the potential to, we could even prevent the 2 builds this turn by dragging in here, instead of repeating our Dark Skies, Lucer Stinging Rain, which in fact we can only just afford. So that we could do this, and it would save us some energy. It would save us an energy this turn, effectively, because that's probably where I would have pushed. It's probably where I would have pushed the invaders to, the explorers to anyway. And yeah, great elements. Having that air is nice. Not that we're short on air, but sap is just super good for us because it's zero cost. And water, drought. I mean, we've got our inbuilt blight removal, but we're unlikely to be able to use it to destroy cities, which puts me off. Nature's connection. So it doesn't target a land, so we can't repeat it. But we can just play it as extra water, so we can use it to repeat something else. Yeah, not doing enough. Wow, this is... I just don't know. We are playing with events, so having big defends lying around is pretty tempting. Oh yeah, we are going to be placing a presence this turn. You know, because this we can easily make as big a defend as we like, which I think I'm going to go with this. This gives us more options. So entrancing apparitions, sorry, I still love you, but we're going to go with sap the strength of multitudes. Okay, so we're going to gain an energy. And I just do this so that I kind of roughly remember. I'm not as consistent with it as I'd like, but I try. So we've got a presence placement. Of course, we actually need to be adjacent to this. So yeah, this sap is for the future, but we are playing events, so that does mean that the event might just ruin our day. Events like to do that. They also like to save our day as well. All right, so we're gonna... Oh, and it's a 3 rate. Okay, so we could place in here... Yeah, I think we go with kind of the initial plan. So I'm going to place in here. So I've got that wetland presence. And of course, yeah, otherwise don't have targeting skills in there. So that's that. We gain that energy. This is our income. And I'm going to play this. I'm going to play Dark Skies, Loose Stingray. So we're currently sitting on only one bonus pour down action here because we've got the 2 water. Which could just be a simple repeat, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to cost me both of my energy. So it does look a bit cat-handed. God, is that actually a horrible phrase that I can't use anymore? I don't know. Apologies if it is. So we're gonna do that. So we're gonna use our repeat on this to do it twice. Again, preventing a couple of build chains and isolating these, but I think it's probably irrelevant unless we get a wetland draw here. Okay, so that was our spirit phase. So now we're into the actual the Wassit phase. The Wassit phase. Gotta get the lingo right, peasant. Jesus. Yeah, Jesus wouldn't make all these language mistakes. Now I'm trying to find my isolate tokens. There they are. Okay, so we're gonna isolate these 2 with Dark Skies, and we're gonna push our Explorer. Best place to push, probably doesn't matter. We also can push all these Dahan, which is kind of cool. Let's I like to clump my Dahan. I realize. I think I'm gonna push these ones in here for a counterattack on this Ravage here. So that's that one. This is isolated now. This I'll push somewhere else. Let's push. I think here's the best place, though. This is also tempting. Yeah, especially as we've now got this sap. We're not worried about, odds and sods of damage here so much. And we'll push from here into here. Okay. So that's our fast phase. So healthy events. Still no fear cards, but hey. So what have we got? We've got pull together in adversity. For the rest of the turn, ignore a strife on each invader. That's fine. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. Oh well. Well, this guy was dead anyway, but thanks. And then when invaders ravage, if the land has Dahan, defend 2. Okay. Thanks, fear card. All right. That was that. Now we're into the ravage. So this guy dies. I suppose technically this guy takes a damage as well, but I don't think there's any way that it's going to matter now. So that's the ravages. Then we have wetland builds. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, we've got our explore. So it's it's we know for certain it's going to be an escalation effect because, of course, the coastal lands has been put in a particular place. So we basically put a town anywhere that doesn't have a town. And we've got a sand explore. So it doesn't matter. Like, if we put this in this isolate place, it's not going to prevent anything because there's already a town in this mountain. And against Scotland, we don't really want to be putting a load of stuff on the coast. We don't want to help them. But if we can make the inland just completely sorted, then I think that's good. So I'm going to do this. Let's see. I wonder if I'm going to regret this. Possibly. Oh, interestingly as well, and I wonder if this is the first time I've ever actually played Scotland correctly. This coastal explorer is actually they're going to bring a town in there. So, oh God, that just feels like a rule I might never have actually done. Oh well. So that was the explore. Slow phase, no snow phase. So we are now in the cleanup or whatever it's called. This goes into my discard pile, and we're back to growth. So we have wetland ravages that don't matter. We have a build that's going to be prevented anyway by the disease, and we've got a build here that's it's potentially ignorable. We don't really have easily prevented builds this turn. We don't have any ravages we care about. Well, we just don't have any ravages that matter. So I think this is a very good turn to skip. I've also just ignoring this move of presence option I have here. So I think we just kind of push towards getting more presence out, but gaining power cards is also super good. So looking at the next time we're forced to reclaim, we will gain another power card. So what I'm trying to weigh up is, do I want that third action, or would I rather have a power card? The benefit of having the third action, what is the actual benefit of having the third action? The benefit of the third action means, I'm just looking at the cards that I have, thinking about whether I want a third action over anything else. It means we can slip a sap in whenever we want, and there's things like this that are nice extra. They're kind of more useful as an extra. Yeah, I think we want the third action. Yeah, so I'm going to push for having a third action in the reclaim. So we do have the sap technically. But I don't think there are any events that are going to put a... Oh God, there might be. That might put a building in there. So we could just do this preemptively. But I think I'm going to push to get up to 3 actions. So we have to discard... we have to discard a card. We're going to have a total of 3 water elements this turn, which means we're going to get an extra 1, but I'll convert into energy. I'm going to put a 1 here. All right, so I've got to place this out. And the other useful thing about having lots of actions is that all of a sudden I'll actually be able to do these a bit more consistently. So we want to probably be thinking about rain and mud. For next turn. So rain and mud in here, I think, is most likely to be the thing to do. This we can let go. We're not doing runoff and bilge water on the Scott. I'm pointing at something that's off camera here, like a champion. Yeah, there we go. So we don't need to think about that. I'm going to make a sacred site in here. That also means that this is a wetland for my powers, but mainly for a future rain and mud, or even potentially, I think it's just good. We also do have these presence movements, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, this guy's healed up. I don't know, maybe I could move a presence in here. I've actually got 2 of the presence movements now. Yeah, clearly it's something I'm underusing. All right, so that was, we're not going to do a lot this turn, but we've done all this stuff. Now we've got this many elements. Of course, I'm just going to turn that into an extra energy. And all right. So Blighted Island, no. Fear. Yeah, we should gain some fear. Let's see what our event is. So on each board, choose lands with cities, build there. Well, we have one land with cities, so I think this will cancel that out. And then on each board, push up to 2 explorers or a town for land with beasts, not applicable. And then we've got rally. Gather a Dahan into land with Dahan. In that land, defend 1 per Dahan. So we could just use this as a useful gather. I think I might gather into here. I'm going to gather into here I think they're safer when they're clustered. All right. So into Ravage. Wetland Ravage. There's no one in the wetlands. Sand build. So our disease token's gone now. So we will be a build in here. And there'll be a build in here. Interesting. Okay, and then we've got our explorers. So escalation effect, of course, is we add a town to a land with fewest towns. I'm not going to put it in here, even though I want to. So I'm just going to put it in one of these two. I'm not going to put it in there. So I'll put it in here. Tricky, the rule of thumb I so often play by is a kind of clear the interior. But against Scotland, it's a little bit funkier. And we've got wetland explorers as well. Seem to be getting lucky with not many coastal explorers at the moment. Actually, what am I talking about? We had one last time. All right, so that was the explore. Slow phase, well, we just don't do powers these days. So, we're just not into that anymore. It's all a little bit powery. Okay, so back to the spirit phase. Yeah, we want to do something about this. We want to do something about this. And this is a lovely sap the strength. So let's just not overthink it. Let's just reclaim. Yeah, I mean, we could let that go. Everyone loves a bit of Blight on the Island, but there's also these builds that are preventable. So yeah, let's not do that. So I'm going to reclaim my cards. Let's get my hand back. Main distinguishing feature from a start hand, of course, is the sap. And gain a power card, move a presence. So let's look at our potential new power card. Right, what are we getting offered here? Oof, Rain of Blood. Now that is... That, I mean, everything else has water on. But if I was in a hurry, I would just pick that. Okay, what other options do we have? See, it's a 0 cost. It's bucket loads of fear. Potentially, we can repeat this 5 times for 15 fear, which is insane. Insane. Okay, Thriving Choke Fungus. Interestingly, because of wherever we have a sacred site, we could potentially do this. Song of Sanctity, one of my least favorite blight removal cards. I love the art, but yeah, this is a very straightforward Rain of Blood pick here. I think this is probably one of my top cards for Downpour. So yeah, that was a relatively straightforward one. And we do get to move a presence if we like. Now we have Rain of Blood, so we are definitely going to want to make a sacred site next to here. And we've actually got loads of presence movement if we want it. So I think what I'll do is yeah, maybe I think I'll move a presence from here to here. Actually, we lose targeting on here. I think actually this is better. This way we've actually got sacred site targeting, so we're in or adjacent to everywhere on the board now. We are giving up this wetland, but actually this has become a wetland. And I can just push this because I've got these other moves as well. So we'll stay in the wetland. We'll make a sacred site here. Now we can Rain of Blood everywhere. Okay, that feels pretty good. Right, so we've got 3 plays. That's the energy we had from last turn. So we do have an energy. But yeah, we've done this stuff. Do we want to use our last presence movement? I don't think so. I think this is fine. So we've got 3 energy to play with. And we've got big Tings of Guan. So I'm going to put this stuff down here. Okay, so I think Sap is really good. And I don't think we actually want to activate this. Because if we do, this does reduce our Dahan counterattack. But yeah, and it's not enough defend anyway to actually solve that problem. So we'll be using sap in here, and how many saps do we need in here? So this is 11 damage ravage. So we could triple sap, which would be really tempting if we hadn't drawn, you know, drawn this one. So I think we let this one go, just for the sake of racking out the fear. Now there's a lot of fear cards to work through against. So it's 5/5/4. So we've got 5 fear level 1. You know, this isn't going to happen instantaneously. And we have a third play. We've got 1 water on our board, so we really want to make sure we play a third card. Or I could wait on Rain of Blood. I mean, we've got builds we can prevent as well. That's very valuable. So maybe this. We can prevent 2 whole builds. And we can even drag explorers in here so they kind of get taken out. Just realized that foundations here, we could have benefited from that Dahan movement. I mean, we've not actually chosen this. I think I could quite happily, you know, move that in there and not feel too bad about it, because we did have a spare mover presence. But I don't tend to undo, because I'm so used to digital, so I'm not going to undo here. Yeah, preventing these 2 builds is pretty nice. Pretty nice. I mean, it'd just be so good if we could, you know, if we could counter it here and get rid of this, because this is enabling the explorer into there. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we're letting this coastal one go, I think, for now, for the sake of getting other things done. My brain's just given up. We don't... A kind of Gift of Abundance might be one to squeak in, but what I'm thinking about is, okay, what's my next turn going to look like? If I prevent both of these builds, I've kind of got a turn off. This is, of course, a double explore, so it's not going to feel like a turn off. Maybe we don't have any more turns off anymore. Because I'm just thinking that this little collection here is going to be a bit sorry next turn. We might be better off doing this kind of thing this turn and actually responding to a build in here and destroying the town, rather than just preventing it, so that we can have a more effective turn next turn. Maybe. My brain's just gone grinded to a halt here. But we can just do a triple Rain of Blood, which is just wonderful. I mean, this is the good stuff. Yeah, I think this is good. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to stop deliberating. So that's going to cost me 1. I'm going to use it in here. And we have 4 water elements, which is 2 lots of pouring down. We're going to plonk them in on the Rain of Blood. So we have, so that's our spirit phase done. Fast phase, so we're going to sap in here for 5 defense. So that's that done. We do have this ability here, and I'm not going to trigger it. So I wonder how many prizes I'm giving away in all these potential rules goofs. But there we go. So that's that Healthy Island effect. And we're into an event. What have we got? Invested aristocracy. I thought it was infested aristocracy, but no. After the ravage step on each board, if no blight was added, add a town to the highest numbered land with no invaders. Okay, they're going to be getting right in my inlands. In each land with beasts, 1 damage per beast, so we're partially damaging this town. And on each board, add a Dahan to a land with 2 or more Dahan. Sure thing. Let's add them in here. I think, yeah, let's do that. All right, so yeah, not too eventful. Oh, all right, we're into the ravage. So yeah, there's nothing happening in here. That's just it's just how it is. That's a blight down. Here we would defend 5 against attack 4, so this is a clear victory for the team good guys. And we get a fear for destroying the town. So now we are into the build, and we've just let them do their thing, you know, let them build their houses so we can drown them later. So that's the build and the explore. So it's an early stage 3er, and we know that coastal lands is next. So I'm actually going to flip this over now so it's less confusing, but we know that's coastal. Well, let's see how long I remember. So jungle and wetland explores. So they explore with a town here on the coast, because that's what they do. The other jungle explores in here, and then a wetland explorer in here, and a wetland explorer in here. Okay. Okay, right. So we're into our slow phase now. So we get to... So yeah, unfortunately, this explorer has meant that this doesn't... We still want to think about this ravage next turn, but that's okay. So we will do 2 damage to towns here, which is another fear. And the first fear card of the game... Ooh, if I can bump this first 5 fear cards up to Terra 2, I'll be very happy. But I think unless we go YOLO on a major, that's not happening. All right, so that's the foundations. Then we've got Rain of Blood tripled. So we can target here, and that's just 9 fear. Let me just double check that. Yeah, that's 9 fear. The old 3 times 3. Maths. So that's 1 card, 2 card. Oh yeah, these should be up here. And then an additional fear. So there's 2 cards before Terra 2. That's a lot of fast fear. We need to make 7 fast fear, which I don't think we can do. Can we with Unbearable Deluge? That would be... no, we can't. We actually couldn't do that. Let's just forget about that idea. So that was the slow phase. That gets discarded. And these guys are in my discard pile now. And we are now back to the spirit phase. So what have we got to think about this turn? We've got a Ravage in here into a build. So this will be a really great defend. They've healed up now. Here we have the same, but we don't have Dahan in there. But the thing is, we can squeeze some in. We can really squeeze some in. Might be a turn for Unbearable Deluge. The funny thing about Deluge is that you kind of have to repeat it to use it sometimes. So we could get our Defend 3, but it's going to actually push 2 of our Dahan out. But if we push them in there and then push them back, that might be what we do. Especially if it means we can skip the reclaim. So currently, trying to weigh up which one of these 2 I'd rather do. I like this. I mean, clearing this is just wonderful because, of course, yeah, we've got the doubled up lands. We also need to think about, we do know that this next explore is a coastal land. And that's kind of scary because what they're going to do, their explorer's going to make a town happen in here. Which means that we will then really be on the back foot. And we don't have any good way of just smashing face. So that is potentially a problem. Oh, I'm an idiot. The Ravage is in here, not in here. Note to self. I don't know how I got that mixed up, but I did. Luckily, I caught it now. So yeah, we can defend in here with Deluge. And we can even defend in here with Deluge. Now, defend 3 in an attack 4 is not ideal with events in the game, but it's probably better than nothing. But if we could then push these Dahan into there for the counterattack, that would be good to prevent the... I mean, if we could repeat this 3 times, we would be able... And we had a presence here. We could defend 3, push 2 Dahan. We could defend 3, push 2 Dahan. Because this is a wetland for our purposes. If it means we can power up... However, to repeat 3 times is beyond us, I think, because we've only got 1 repeat. Yeah, we can only repeat twice. So we couldn't really do that. But preventing this overflow is good. Let's keep this island healthy if we can. We're actually doing all right for energy. We do have one here, I think. So I think here's where having the third action's nice. We can actually just squeak this in just for the sake of it, just for the extra energy that it will give. Of course, we're playing solo, so this another we can target ourselves. We actually don't have any destroyed presence, which is a shame, but we can actually use this to squeak out another unbearable if we want. So that's making me think that actually it's worth going with this option here, and looking at another power card could be very useful. Yeah, so I'm going to go with this option here. So that's just thinking, let's just look at a new power card. Oh, we're also going to get a water element when we place a presence, so that's pretty rad. Rad, yes, I said it. Said the R word. Okay, let's see what we get offered here. Ooh, teeming rivers. Well. Okay, the only call to trade. It's such a cool card, but it's one of those cards that I love but never use. Could be a way of dragging this town out of here, for kind of clearing the inland kind of vibe, but not so sure. How about another zero cost fear card? Yay. We even have an inland land with a beast. It doesn't have the water on it, which is the one thing that counts against it, but it's zero cost. We've got 3 plays. It's slow, so we're not going to get the fast fear, but I think that's pretty good. That means we can kind of alternate this and Rain of Blood. Not to mention there's also going to do other useful things for us, like pushing a town is pretty useful. Okay, so teeming rivers. We've only got wetland blight for now, but we could, if we with teeming rivers in, we could let this blight. We could just let it blight. But I think I'm going to go with monsters here, and especially given we're about to reveal another water element, which kind of means, yeah, we should. Yeah, we're still in a nice position for repeats. So we don't need everything to have water on. All right. So now we've got our new shiny card. We need to work out what we are playing. So, we actually gain an energy as well. Wow. And we place a presence. Crikey. We can basically place a presence, and we've got 2 presence movements. We can go wherever we want. We have wetland ravages, and we could just use downpour. Wow, we could actually just really bump things up in here. Just defend with downpour. Because now that we've got a fear card, that makes me think we want to cane it. It makes me think, if we didn't have this fear card, maybe not, but I think if we can repeat this a whole load of times, so we're going to have, whatever we play out of these, we're going to have 2 water off that and 2 water off our board. So we're going to have 2 repeats. So yeah, I think if we can just repeat this, that's best. So with that in mind, I think we want to use our presence placement to cheese it a little bit. Now this is the priority prevention. Trying to think, the events could boost this by a couple, maybe. I think maybe there's an event that means that invaders do, that explorers do +1. And if we do use our rain and mud, it kind of, yeah, tricky. So I actually think we want to. we want to actually push. We want to really push in here. So I'm going to place my presence in here. Then we've got these 2 moves in here. So I think the most it's going to go up by is 2. Famous last words. I need to leave a presence in there anyway. For the sake of our monsters. All right. So we're going to use the suppress conflict in here. I'm going to use deluge in here. Oh, I need to actually be in there. Damn it, peasant. Okay. Let's undo that. Sorry about this. So the presence that was on the board went in there. So we'll use the deluge in here. Oh, we'll place a presence in here, and we will then move a couple of presents into here. Okay. All right. We'll get there in the end. So like this. Okay. So we'll have defend 3 in there. Might as well put it in now. And we will have defend 3 in here as well. And that 5 is long gone. Okay. So kind of mixing my planning phases here. Sorry about this. And what do we pick? I think we'll go Gift of Abundance here. So we're kind of building up our energy. And we can also squeak in another here there be monsters. Right, so that's going to cost me 1. We have 2 for water, so we've got 2 repeats. I'm just going to put them here. And I've got to remember to do that, of course. All right, so we've done this. We've gained that income. We're choosing these powers. Okay, fast phase. So we are going to unbearable deluge in here. So we gain a fear. We push 2. We've got our defend 3. And it's isolated. I suppose I should make a note of that. Unlikely to matter, but... Okay, then we've got Gift of Abundance. So I'm going to target myself. Because it's just me here. So I gain 2 energy. And we don't have any destroyed presence just yet. But I can repeat a power card by paying its cost. God, there's part of me that wants to be all safety first in here and just double this up. If it got me another fear card, I'd be tempted, but it won't. So I think I'm just going to put another one here. I'm going to represent that by putting a 3 on here. And also, as we're about to get a whole ton of fear, it's probably better that we wait so that they're Terror 2 cards instead of Terror 1 cards. Okay, that's our fast phase. Of course, we have activated Rain and Mud, which we are using in here mainly, but also it'll be in here too. So actually our defender's 4 in here. It's actually, that might well make a difference. And that's that. We're actually getting to the point now where we're almost on the cusp of this, the second tier. Okay, that was our fast phase. Okay, healthy, blighted artifact. Nope, let's see what our event has. Missionaries arrive. They teach and spread lessons of a foreign god. You may ignore their contact with the Dahan. For each board, discard the top minor power. If it has a sun, push an explorer from a land with Dahan. We do have this one. Otherwise, replace Dahan with Tan. Boo. After resolving this card, put it back. Or we can curse those tongues. Each spirit adds a disease to a land with cities. 2 fear per player. Ooh, 2 fear per player. Cities do extra in the Ravage. We don't care about cities doing extra in the Ravage. We really don't want to lose our Dahan. I think I will go with this. Especially, I mean, I could pay with energy. And it's a bit of a shame to lose Gift of Abundance like this. I mean, it's thinking to maybe forget Gift of Abundance to pay for it. Do I have any other sun cards lying around? No other sun cards. Or I could just pay for it. You know what? I think this is actually potentially really powerful for us. We're not going with a very expensive strategy. What am I doing next turn? I suppose it's worth thinking about. Yeah, we're just going really cheap. And this is another opportunity to gain energy and repeat our fear cards. So I'm actually just gonna pay energy, but we already do have a sun element, so it's only going to cost me 3. Interesting. Not so sure that's the right option there. So we do get to add a disease to a land with cities. I do believe They have a city in here. And 2 fear per player. So there's another fear card. I don't really want it right now. Because now it means I kind of want it after their terror too, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. Extra damage in here, but that doesn't matter. So each beast destroys an explorer, and that's that. So no more missionaries. But we do now have a load of fear cards. It's 4 fear cards, but they are at Terror 1. Let's see what we get. So the first one was the first one, although it really makes any odds. So each player adds a strife in a land with or adjacent to beasts. I think that's a no-brainer there. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. So that's that one. What's next? Each player removes an explorer or a town from a land with disease. Well, we only have one. Let's just remove a town. These feel like useful fear cards. Invaders do not build in lands with cities. Unfortunately irrelevant. And during the next normal build, skip the lowest numbered land matching the invader card on each board. Ooh, we've got lucky there. We skipped the builds on a double. That's pretty cheeky. All right, I'm going to leave that there so I remember when we actually do the invader stuff. So that was our fear card. So now we're into Wetland Ravage. We have a defend 3 in here versus 2, which is fine, and a defend 4 versus 4 here, which is also fine. Let's remove them now. Then we are into build. So this is actually getting pretty sketchy here because they're close to winning. So they're building in this jungle. Oh no, wait a second. There's this. I put it there to remind myself and then I forgot. Yeah, this is cheesy. We've cheesed it. But 4 fear cards, you know, expect some help. The lowest numbered land matching the invader card is actually this land. That's the lowest. 1 is the lowest number we've got. So we actually skip that in the build. That's pretty freaky. So this is the next. And then the wetland builds are here and here. So they do still build. So yeah, cities have shown up. Okay, thanks immigration slows. I mean, that's made a huge difference to this. We still can't sleep on it, but it's made a difference, so thank you. Okay, that was the invader phase. Now it's our slow phase. We've got this here. There'd be monsters. Let's give a little look at what's going on over there. Ooh, actually, these fears should be up here. And so this is getting played once and then played an additional 3 times. So that's 4. And we're going to play it in here. It's a you may push. And as... I wonder if I do want to push it out. Probably does make it easier. It means I can... I actually don't think I will push it out. I'm going to leave it in there. We could potentially clear all this with some defending next turn. Because we're probably reclaiming next turn. So, yeah, this is all getting a bit horrible in here. And I don't really want to push this anywhere else. So I'm going to leave that in there. So we're going to be doing this 4 times, which is 12 fear, which is 3 fear cards, which is disgusting. So 1. Now terror 2. 2. 3. That's that. Okay. So I'll put our dice down here and we'll discard this stuff. The old cleanup phase. And we are back to the spirit phase. So what are we looking at here? Oh yeah, of course, it's gone ravage. So I didn't do super cool counterattack stuff, which is regrettable. But I think I can do that super cool counterattack stuff now instead. We know that this is a coastal explore and that it's going to be absolute hell because they're going to explore with a town in each land. I've just realized we should have done that last turn. Well done, peasant. You forgot the explore, didn't you? You did forget the explore. Let's do it now. It actually doesn't make any odds for my fear card. My God. My God. Okay, this looks way worse. I wonder who's going to get the prize for me not noticing that. Forgetting to explore. Cardinal sin. Though I think actually it's not every single one. Yeah, it's 2 of these are going to get towns and one's not. So I'm going to put the actual explore in there instead of Yeah, so that we've got a bit more time to avoid city making. So yeah, that would be a valid prize claim there for that. Okay, so the slow thing doesn't make any odds. We were just gaining fear anyway. Yeah, and of course that happens after our fear cards. So okay, well done, peasant. Right, actual growth phase. Let's do a little bit more being strategic, a little less cheating, eh, peasant? So we have ravages here. We might want to move this out just to save our presence. Though I don't think it matters that much. We've got, how are we doing with our fear deck? We've got 3 before Terror 3. Looks like we're unlikely to shift the cities going with what we're going with. We can't take, this isn't a turn we can skip, unfortunately, because we've got 4 ravages that we kind of need to do something about. But we've got good counterattack potential here. Yeah, so this is a reclaim turn. Yeah, this is a reclaim turn. We just can't skip this turn. So we get to reclaim our cards. Bam. And then we get to gain a power card. And then we've got all sorts of presence moving options. 1, 2. And oh yeah, do I want to gain a major power? Not really. We're going to have an energy here too. Do I want to gain a major? We're broke. We can't use it straight away. If I'm going to gain a major, probably I'll do it here. The other thing is we've got great cards to repeat, which means that we're not going to be gaining loads of energy from pour down. So I think we're going to be sticking with the minor powers this time round. Okay, what do we got? Purifying Flame. Haunted by primal memories, quicken the earth's struggles and disorienting landscape. Ooh, we've got some good stuff here. No water elements, and I've balanced them on top of my hand, so focusing's gone weird. No water elements, but that's a lot of defend for €1. And it's very easy for us to put a sacred site anywhere we want. And it's defend with no real downsides. So, yeah, I think that's the one. Let's not go into too much agonizing. Haunted by primal memories. That's interesting. That's whoa. That is what? This is a Jagged Earth card, so it's not. I don't have a lot of the Jagged Earth cards I've not used that much. But wait a second. And it costs an energy, right? So that means it's not as great for repeating. But this is 3 fear in the fast phase if you're going in with a beast. This actually has an immediate use this turn. The 3 fast fear will combo with our where are you? Our Unbearable Deluge to mean an extra fear card if we are using Deluge, which we almost certainly are. So this feels really good as just as a one-off. Because that's a lot of fear. And it is repeatable in the fast phase, which means that if we do have a bit of a bank of energy, we could use this to rinse in the fast. And effectively, we can use it, say, in here for the kind of same amount of defense as Quicken. And especially, I think this is good. This gives us a better chance at really scamming the game by just using this region to just cane. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this. We're going to go with that. Yeah, I think that's the call there. So these are discarded. Oops, just nudge my camera. Hold on, peasant. Okay, so let's consider what we're doing. So we've gained a power card. We've now got lots of presence movement we can do potentially. So I think I'm going to put this here because I'm going to use it this turn in here for just lots of fear. We've also got the fact that we are going to want to use Rain and Mud. We're going to have 2 water on our board. So we will, we're going to we're going to be able to use rain and mud in here. It's a bit close. This might be a good presence to relocate, given that it's in a land that's going to be harder to defend. Yeah, and we've got great fear cards that we want to be repeating. We don't want to be repeating our defend cards. So I think I'm going to use this move presence to move here for more Quagmire action. Okay, so that's that. We've also got another 2 presence moves. I want to keep some adjacency on that, some kind of targeting ability on there. Okay. It's sometimes tricky when you get into... I find that my brain can shut down a little bit when I get into the spatial reasoning part of the game. I feel like if we've got the choice between using Here There Be Monsters for Fear or Reign of Blood, we use Here There Be Monsters, because this is dependent on having a beast, and if we're unlucky, we could lose our beast. An event could just get rid of our only beast. So I think I'm going to go with this as my Fear card option this turn, because Fear is how we're going to win. We're getting a bit overrun. So if we want to get an extra Fear card this turn, which I think we do... Then this has also not got water on it, which might mean we switch, despite what I just said earlier. So we want to get that extra fear card now. So I think we are going to be using, where are you? Unbearable Deluge. I think that's our hand. But we're only going to have 3 water elements. So I actually think I will use Rain of Blood here, even though I wanted to use Here They Be Monsters, in case something happens to our beast. So yeah, I think that's the plan. So that'll mean we've got 2 repeats from our water elements, and we'll get this here. So we've actually got 3 energy. And how does this actually... We're letting this one go. I just not done. And we actually do have 2 presence movements as well. I'm going to move this out because this is going to blight this turn. We're defending in here when we're quagmiring in here. I think I will keep a sacred site targeting in here. No, let's be a bit security first. If we're lucky, No, we're not going to keep a healthy island this turn this way. But we do have a shed load of fear cards incoming. So there's a chance. There is a chance. Okay, I think that's right. So now we are into paying for things and actually doing this properly rather than planning. So we've got 2 repeats. I mean, we could even be repeating Deluge here. Is there a benefit to that? I mean, we could defend in here with Deluge instead of Rain Blood. And so we could repeat Deluge instead of Rain of Blood. What's the benefit of that? The benefit of that is keeping the island healthy. If we just let this coastal forest, coastal jungle go, that's the only blight this turn. We could double Unbearable Deluge in here. So we could move that there instead. But it's close, right? That's 7 versus 6. There's a chance we'll just get unlucky there. Also, I'm also realizing that this is kind of not doing anything. We could use sap. You know, that's actually might just be better. We'll be missing out on a fear card. But what it means is we'll get more Terra 3 fear cards. So maybe this is better. We could... So we're going to have 4 water elements, so it's 2 repeats. We could double sap in here. We do have the air elements. We could double sap in here. And we could double Rain of Blood. And then we might be able to keep a healthy island. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to put... Actually, I don't think I actually have to decide to do this immediately. Yeah, but I'm going to do that anyway. I think that's right. So we're going to defend in here twice with sap, the extra range granted by this air. Rain of Blood twice in the slow phase. Defend in there. So hopefully just this land will blight. But events. So, all right. A lot of thinking of that one. Oh, and we've got in this business here as well. But we're actually into the fast phase now. So we are doing this. So there is going to be a whopping 5 defend in there from this. I'm going to just put that there to remind myself I've done it. We're going to sap the strength of multitudes in here twice for 10 defend in there. Though, thinking about it, it might be better to prevent the coastal ravage. Given that actually this is better. Because we've got limited options for blight to go. We've also got this ability here that I've been mostly ignoring. So we could, let's defend the coast. Though fear cards often help on the coast, they very rarely do anything inland. But actually, I think I'm going to gamble. I actually don't think it makes that much odds. Okay, so that's that. Then we've got haunted by primal memories. So we're going to do that in here for 3 defend and 3 fear. Wow. 3 fear. Okay, so that's that. And that's the fast phase. Okay, so still got a healthy island events. See what we get. Promising farmland. When exploring, once per board, place a town instead of an explorer. Okay. On each board, add a beast to a land without blight that has towns. That's wonderful for us. That means that our beast-reliant stuff is a little bit more secure. So, this is the thing that's a bit tricky when you have a fight where they mix up all the cards. So we know that that we've got a 2 coming up next that is either a jungle or a mountain. We know that it's a jungle or a mountain because of what we've already seen. So I think I'm going to put this in here. Yeah, it's also coastal, and that might mean that we can use this on a future turn to defend in there. Good stuff. All right, so that's the beasts. Oh no, it needs a town. Just make up the rules as you go along, peasant. You know, you do you. Let's put it in here. Okay, and then defend with Dahan. So the event didn't help us there, but we've got lots of 3 fear cards at Terra 2. Let's see what they do. Okay, each player adds a strife in a different land that leads to invaders. Then each invader takes 1 damage per strife it has. Okay, the key thing to note as well is the event has not scuppered us here. Ah, this is nice. We can actually... each invader takes 1 damage per strife it has. I don't... Is that on the whole map? Does seem to be the case. Each invader takes a damage per... So this is going to get damage anyway. I think it must refer to this. So because I want to make sure this land gets cleared, I'm going to put it in there. I don't know the finer points of that rule. I'm not a big rules guy. In case you hadn't noticed. Each player adds a strife to a town. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 health per strife to a minimum of 1. I wonder if I'm going to get any damage out of my fear cards. Out of my remaining fear card. I don't have any slow damage. So that's largely going to be irrelevant from that point of view. Let's add a strife in here then. So, okay, that's that one. And then finally, each player chooses a different coastal land. And each gather up to 1 Dahan, 1 damage per Dahan. Well, we're going to gather up to, so we're not forced to, thankfully. So I'm just going to gather 0 and just remove this guy, which is good. That does prevent a town being built. Okay, thank you, fair cards. All right, so jungle wetland ravages. Let's do the good news first. This is defend 5. This is good news. Don't know why I used the blue dice there, but I did. This is also fine. This too is fine. This is even better news. This is already damaged from our fear cards, so and they're all strifey anyway. The counterattack will kill both of these for 3 fear. So that's 1 for it gets me another card, and then 2 more. Okay. So that's the good news. Of course, these strife are now gone. And then the bad news one. Boo. We still have a healthy island, though, which is surprising. So, oh, yeah. So we've done those. Will I remember the explore this time? Who knows? So city building here. This one's prevented. This is a city. So, yeah, we can't... Yeah. If we can keep this landlocked, we're all right, but... So that's the coastal, and then let's see what we've got. We've got a jungle, but it's the escalation effect, so we've got to add a town to somewhere with the least towns. We're about to get into the 3s. What do we know about 3s already? We know that we're less likely to have jungles and wetlands. So I'm just going to put that on top, just so that I'm going to remind myself of that fact. So we're less likely to have jungles and wetlands in future, which makes me think I want to put a town in with jungles and wetlands. Oh, so that's about to ravage peasant. Also want to think about future Here There Be Monsters. Actually, we don't need invaders to be in there for Here There Be Monsters, if you know what I'm talking about. There's no invader requirement. So actually, not so worried about that consideration. So yeah, let's not just play into the ravage build situation. So we'll put this in, not on the coast, of course. So I guess that means there. That's the only sane place to put it, really. And the actual explore is in the jungle. Look at all these towns. Wow, so towny. So that's a town explore, and this, of course, is just a regular explore. And we're into our slow phase. So we've got a Rain of Blood that is repeated. So it's a 3 fear kind of Rain of Blood. So we'll target, I don't know, doesn't matter. So that's 6 fear in total, which is a card, and another 2 fear, which is basically another card. And we've done it. We're into terror level 3. So against Scotland 4, we had 4 fear cards here. So 12 fear is the win. Let's check I can count. Yeah. So 12 fear would just be a straight terror 4 victory. That's done now. Let's see if we can do it. So this goes into the old discard pile. The old discard pile. And we are back to growth. The interesting thing is, well, I think it's interesting, is that we do have this Haunted by Primal Memories, which potentially means we could win this in the fast phase. Let me just work this out. The trouble is it costs energy to use, right? So we'd need to play it 4 times. So we'd need 3 repeats. So we'd need a total of 4 energy. We would need 4 energy. And of course, we'd have to have that card in our hand. It's currently in our discard pile. So we'd have to reclaim. We'd have 3 energy. We'd be able to get... Yeah, I don't think we can quite guarantee it in the fast phase. Yeah, not quite. We're not quite wealthy. We don't have, enough energy, but it's close. So that's not an option. So I think what we will try and do is win in this slow phase. Which will be a lot easier because we can use the Here There Be Monsters, for example. So, but we need to survive the round. And that is a but. This, we've got jungle wetland ravages. So that's a cascade, that's a cascade. That one looks fine, probably is fine. That is also another blight. That could be enough to straight up lose. So as we can't win in the fast phase, then we need to actually do something about that. This here is a horrifying, let's do some maths, 11 damage ravage. Crikey. That's a lot. This is quagmireable. I think as long as we trigger this effect, just not something to worry about. We might have to reclaim to survive this. You know, we might have to reclaim because we don't really have nice repeatable defends here. I think the island can blight this turn, and that's fine because I think that's just fine. Because when it blights, it'll be after the event, so we're not going to get hit by another horrible thing there. I think we actually, if we reclaim, we should then be hopefully in a decent place to actually survive. Or we could actually just let the coast go, make sure we defend in here, and win in the slow phase. So we could cascade into here, which is fine. We could let the cascade happen in here. So that's 2 blight. We can make sure we defend in here. I think this is just fine. And we don't care about the island being healthy because we won't have an event after the events will happen before the ravage, before the blight happens. So we're not going to get stung with a really nasty effect. So we could let this one go. Could even let this one go. That's 3 blight, which would possibly be enough to lose. This should just be fine. Okay, let's see what cards we've got left in hand. And the other thing we could do is potentially think about doing some of this shenanigans. We've got a big hand. We could potentially gain a ton of water for a Here There Be Monsters win in the slow phase. What I mean by that is repeating this 3 times, so basically playing it 4 times. For the 12th fear, we'd need to win. But we need to defend at least in here, because we're already covered in here. I like this idea though. We'll get us the plant as well. I almost want to let this get destroyed as well so we can get it back, even though that has no real benefit. Okay. So that's a 5, 6, 7 defend necessary in there. I actually think we might just be better off reclaiming, because that means we can get our sap back that we can repeat once. Nah, I'm conflicted. I am truly conflicted. We actually need 16 fear as well. God damn it, peasant. What happened to your maths today? Yeah, we need to actually... We can't just let it go to hell. We need to properly defend here. What I think might be good is to actually set up some nice counterattacks. That's an 11 damage Ravage. All our good defend cards are in here. We can let this one go defend in here with a counterattack. Okay. Sunken deep into the tank. Yeah, we can't. I don't think I can allow a cascade. I think I'm actually going to reclaim. This is the nice thing, because we've already done all this stuff. I'm not saying reclaiming doesn't feel quite as horrible. We also might gain a really useful power here. So I'm going to reclaim. I'm going to gain a power card, and then I'm going to do all the potential presence moving. So what do we get offered? Let's see. Let's see what I get offered. Wow, this is quite a longie. This is a pretty long one. Ooh, Gift of Constancy. Love to see it. Okay. Okay, game. Game's offering me fast fear, though. Game is taunting me, but we can't quite get up to 16. Might be a nice one to throw in. Gift of Constancy could be good, though. Means we could potentially use this next turn, which we might need. I think it's either Constancy or Ooze here. Thing is, we do only get 3 cards. We can't repeat Constancy because it doesn't target a land. But what it would mean is more energy potentially for a really big finish the following turn. We are kind of low on energy. Sucking Ooze, though, is nice. Nice and repeatable. But I think I'm going to go Constancy. And I'm realizing how long it's gone. I'm going to try and speed up a little bit. Speed up a little bit. So we're going to go Constancy. And I've got a So we've reclaimed all our cards. We've got some presence moves to do. So I'm going to do that once I've planned what I'm doing. So we can't risk just kind of YOLOing fear, because it's 16 fear, which is still quite a lot. Even though we do have some fear cards in the bank, and Terror 3 can really, we might get some help from the actual fear cards. So we're definitely going to be double sapping in here. And we're going to be, I think, pushing some Dahan around. What's our best bet for that? This is nice because it's a little bit of extra fear. But actually... So I actually think it might be good. Wow, my it's almost like I can hear my brain just like grinding to a halt. Maybe one of these in here. I know that it doesn't look necessary, but we want to be pushing some Dahan into here to destroy this city and get, that's easy fear, really. Especially with all these fear cards kicking around, we might get some extra damage from those Dahan. But then we're skipping our fear engine if we do that. And we can't really cane things like... We can't really cane this because it's so expensive. It costs something. It's not caneable. So I think we definitely want to play one of our fear cards, fear generators. So either here there'd be monsters or Rain of Blood. I guess it depends how many water elements we have. We want to have at least 3 elements so that we've got our Rain and Mud suppressing conflict. Maybe we think we skip this. We skip on this because we should be fine in here, especially with all these fear cards. So maybe this is the one. We've got 4 fear elements, which would be 2 repeats. We do unfortunately have to use one of those repeats in here to prevent the cascade. So we'd have 10 defend in here, which is a bit close to the line, but we do have fear cards. Then we can Quagmire in here, or whatever it's called, Rain and Mud. This should be fine. We let this one go. The island will blight, but we should be able to do a double Rain of Blood, which will be 12 fear, and we should get some fear out of this conflict as well. So having done that, do I need to move any presence around? So I do have the range on this because of this air, so I don't need to be in there. And I've got targeting for Rain of Blood. We're not predicting any cascades. I think it's good to have as much presence in here as possible. We need this to be in here or here. Maybe I'll just move that in there just in case of shenanigans. And there is a blight in there that's got shuffled. Okay, I think that's all my blight movement. Don't like that I don't have a sacred site adjacent to that, but I think it's okay. All right, so we are not spending any energy. Wow, so frugal. This is my hand. Let's put that back over there. Right, so actual fast phase. So it's going to be double sap in here. So I'm going to put that and we're going to use that. So that's our 2 repeats that are from these water elements. So we've got 10 defend here, which is a bit fine, especially as there are no tokens or anything in there. But it's what we have. So that's that. Then we've got this Quagmire effect. So that means we've got 5 defend in here. Oops. And so that's that done. That's our fast phase. So island's still healthy. Let's see what event we get. Urban development. During the next normal average, each city, there you go, deals +2 damage. So that's wrecked that. We might still get lucky here. On each board, add a disease. Ignore disease during build phase. During this invader phase. Okay. So I think here's good just because it'll help us not lose to the Scotland victory condition. Hopefully the game won't go on that long, but we'll see. 1 fear per land where invaders outnumber buildings. Okay, I guess that's land with invaders. So that one doesn't count, but these 2 do. That's a nice little bonus there. 2 fear. Thanks, Fierce Mien. Don't know how to pronounce that. That's not a rules error if I can't pronounce Mien, okay? So we are now into the actual fear cards themselves. We could get some gifts here. I've got to remember that there's extra damage from the urban development on that one. So the first one we got is this. We are at Terror 3. Buildings each deal -2 damage during the ravage and they don't heal. Okay, well this is fine now. That's a result. Thanks, communities being in disarray. I'm going to leave that here so I actually remember it. Okay, Dahan on their guard. In each land, defend 2 per Dahan. Interesting. I'm going to leave that there so I remember it as well. You've got to do everything you can when you're me. Oh, Scapegoats of Terror 3. This is you love to see it. So, destroy all explorers. Guys, feels like a while since I've had Scapegoats at 3. So, I'm just so excited. Okay, let's start inland. So, all explorers, each city destroys town. So that is a fear. Thanks. Thanks, Scapegoats. Okay, here is unaffected, but here we destroy these. Here is unaffected. Here, we destroy this for another fear. And, crucially, another fear card. Oh, I love tier 3 Scapegoats. And here, this guy gets destroyed. And these two also get destroyed for another 2 fear. So, that's pretty good. Good old Scapegoats. And so we do have a new fear card. Thanks to Scapegoats. What is it? It's Tread Carefully. Each player may choose a land with Dahan or adjacent to Dahan. Invaders do not ravage there this turn. Okay. That's this land. You're not ravaging this turn. You cheeky little land. You're treading carefully over there. We'll just put that there for the moment. Okay, that was a result. That really was. So, into the invader phase we go. So, each building does 1 less damage. So, this is sitting at 5 damage. They do get bonus from urban development, but it's not enough to counter this 10. So, this one is fine. We'll just take that out because it's done. This one is also fine. And there's a counterattack. Then we've got the wetland ravages. This one is fine. And this one is prevented by Tread Carefully. So thanks, Tread Carefully. And then we've got our builds. So another coastal city. And now I'm thinking, now I just want to recheck my Scotland rules because it has been a while. Number of it's coastal lands, not actual cities. Okay. Whew. So that's that build. And then no build in here because it's not coastal. And it's also got nothing in it. So now we'll move on to the Explore. Let's see what we get. Mountain and wetland. I feel like I'm getting very lucky with these Explorers, not getting a lot of coastal stuff going on, because they do bring towns to the coast. It makes me think glad I put that disease in there. So we've got an Explorer in here, and then the wetland Explorers here and here. Great. So these things are no longer relevant. Just realised, did I use Rain of Blood and Here There Be Monsters? Did have 4 coffees this morning. So, did I really do that? My God. Okay. So, we've done the Explorers. Now we're into the slow phase. So, this is so stupid. What the hell was I thinking? I wasn't thinking, I guess. So we were going to get to gain... don't need invaders for this. So we actually could push that out to save us some hassle. We're going to get to gain 6 fear from this. So it's 1, 2, and then another whole card. So basically 2 cards and then 0 our fear pool. 1, 2... And I think we've got the win. So, and then this is another 3 fear. We don't have it instantly. Because we have 1 card left and 1 fear to gain. So I can do it in the fast phase. So let's just do that very quickly. So end of turn, clean this up. They go into discard pile and I do anything and just play this, for example, in the fast phase. And we're done. So there it was. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you liked the video, like it so I can get my thumb in there. Oh, like the video. There's my thumb. So yeah, if you find a rule, the first person to find each rules mistake, I'm sure there's more than one. There's one at least that I picked up even mid-play, gets a prize. The full list is on the Discord, which is in the details. I had to get in there. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Yeah, so if you do find rules or strategic mistakes, timestamps, because I can't remember games, especially once we get a bit more, further into the future. So thanks so much for joining me. And yeah, until next time, keep it spiritual. Actually, I need an end screen, don't I? All right, bye.